Hey everybody, we are back in the shop today, and what we're doing is we're going to continue making these metal frames for these wood cabinet doors. So we've got our pile of steel over here, and we'll come over here to the cutting station. So we'll use our Evolution chop saw to cut all these pieces, and then we'll weld them together. And then today, when we weld these together, I've got a small roll of solid core wire on my Vulcan MIG-Max 215, so I'll use that to use up that wire and weld these frames together with it. All right, so follow along. It'll be a good day in the shop. All right, and to bevel these before we weld them, today we're going to try the sander out and see if we can't bevel these edges. Now, this sander we use for wood all the time, we have the vacuum system set up to it. We're going to go ahead and take that off because we don't want any metal chips in our sawdust. And then for the small edges, we're going to use this small 1-inch belt sander. We think this sander will work pretty good. The only one way to find out though, follow along. For our first one, we got to make 2 of these frames with these measurements. So it'll be 12¼ by 11½, so let's get them cut out. Okay, and on this stock, first thing I need to do is square up that edge. It's just, like I said, I don't know, they cut it with a K12 style saw, and it's kind of gnarly. The nice thing about these AirPods is they're noise canceling also, so they work for hearing protection on this saw. But I do need better eye protection, so I'm going to wear this. And since I'm making 2 sets, I'm going to make 4 of each of these numbers. All right, so here's our 4 12¼ and we'll make the next size. So now we need 4 11½. This chop saw absolutely increases productivity. I love it. Makes a kind of a mess though. Okay, 11½. All right, so this will be our guide. It's 11½, so now we'll make 3 more. All right, we've got our 4 11½, so let's get them ground up and put together. I just marked the edges that need ground. All right, so we'll get these ground up, get them welded together.
This little Harbor Freight combo sander is really speeding the grinding up a bunch. There's the other one. All right. Since we're doing this in a industrial style, I'm just taping them together until he's ready to weld them. That way I can mark them and know which door they go on.
All right, and here is the second set. All right, so I'm gonna do a test weld using the Vulcan MIG-Max 215. So we've got a piece ground up like we're gonna do all these others. And I've got our settings on a 5.5 and H with it on manual mode. And that is the settings that comes off this chart here. So got our gas put on 20 and we're ready to roll. Looks pretty dang good. All right, well, there's that weld. I think it's pretty good. I think that will work. So we'll go with those settings, and I think I might go just a little faster. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple more practice welds just to get real comfortable with that welder. I've got my Hobart sitting here set up, and it's what I've been using. But I'm kind of cheap, and I've got about a quarter roll of wire on that Hobart, or I mean on that Vulcan, and I want to use that up without just throwing it away because I've got some other wire that I'm going to try out with that Vulcan here shortly. Okay, so I did a couple test welds, and this is the manual settings. Of course, I started going too fast right in the middle of that. I still feel the heat coming off. That's pretty nice. These are those synergistic settings, and it got in there a little better penetration, so I kind of like that. So I think I'll use the synergistic settings on this. So on the synergistic settings on the Vulcan MIG-Max 215, you just put your thickness of metal in, which is 1/4 inch in this case. You put your diameter of wire, which is 0.030 in this case. You put your gas, and we're using welding steel with C25. Then this knob doesn't do anything. If you know that you're on the synergistic settings, this little synergic light comes on while you're welding. All right, we got everything clamped up and we got everything square. We'll see if we can weld this up. Nice and well. Beautiful. Now here's the trick of leaning over the hot welds to get to the new weld. I pretty much wear gloves all the time working with metal, but it's either the welding gloves or just regular. Not bad. Ooh, that's hot. There's a pretty good penetration there. I'm happy with that weld. For a hobbyist welder, making my own cabinets, I think that'll work. Nice. Real nice, Clark. All right, that ought to do it. That'll do it. All right, I'm not that happy with that one, but the rest of these look really good. And that one would have been fine if I would have carried it through long enough. All right, let's get another one. I think that wire is messed up. Yeah, I melted it too far. All right, well, I was welding and I got done with that weld, which was lucky. But then I noticed that the wire quit feeding out of the tip. And so I grabbed my nippers and pulled that out. And then I came and looked at the machine. And I am out of wire, which is exactly what I was looking to do. I just want to use up that wire. I thought there was more of it on there than that. But so now I'm just going to go ahead and switch back over to the Hobart. It's got a big roll and it's set up exactly for that. So we're going to switch welders. All right, so I'm going to fire up the Hobart and finish these out. We got several more of them to do. And we have a full roll of wire on the Hobart, so we shouldn't have to change anything else out. There we go.
Are you doing these in order or something?
I was just doing the smaller ones going up to the bigger ones. All right, so we ended up getting 8 of these frames made. That's not bad at all. So we used up that half a roll of wire that was in that Vulcan welder, and then we switched to the Hobart, and we ran out of wire in it too. But I reloaded it. So here are our frames, and not a bad day. All right, so here's quality control.
They look awesome to me.
That's all I got to hear. All right. Thanks a lot for watching this. If you enjoyed this content, give us a thumbs up. It absolutely helps our channel, and we invite you to subscribe to see more. Have a great day, and be safe.